Oy, okay. It must be that time. Must it be, Gus? Yes. Yes, it must. It must. Truly it must. It's a real thing. It's a real to-do. Alright, alright. All the streams are working, imagine. Lurks are current somehow. Dear God, somehow they're current. That's not a typical thing for things to just be working around these parts. You know what I'm saying? It's kinda nuts. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I missed one. Damn it. Missed a friend going live. How long? Oh, I see. Minutes. The same time as me. Yeah. Yeah, you're busted. Going live the exact same time as me. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Now, what are the lurks looking like? Now they're looking Gucci. Okay. Hey, we're doing all right. Well, greetings, how thank you guys doing? Mel is here. I am Mel. Still stuck in a meeting, but I'll be there soon. Intra's here with a disappointment pack. That's crazy. Also, hello. Clackety clack. A disappointment pack for Intra. Intra's disappointment pack. Boom. Clackety clack. It's on the ledger. You got it, madame. I'd be good to talk to you, but I'll have to watch it on rerun. Oh, I'm sorry. Boo, boo, boo. Hello. How you guys doing? It's good to see you guys. I hope that you're well. Me. Good to see you. Good to have you. I'm choking on nothing. That's embarrassing. I already finished drinking the water, and now I'm choking on nothing. It's ridiculous. Hot Brad's here. Hi, boo-boo. How beautiful face. Sam is here. Hello, Sam. Hello, welcome on in. Welcome. Going to dinner with the family. Oh. So it's a for funsies reason. Okay. All right. Well, hope that's a fun dinner. Hope that you and yours are doing all right. Hopes for it. Mind, how you doing? Mind is good to see you. We are claps. We are explosion. We are very excited. Good to have you in, Mind. It's good to have you in. How the time zones been, huh? How's June doing to ya? For ya? How's June treating ya? Is it doing right by ya? I mix it up several different things. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to keep it together, but you can see how well that's working. But yeah. I'm grateful to all you pull up multiple tabs. Thank you guys. It means it's hot. I concur. Jeez, I concur. It is a bit toast. It is indeed a bit toast. I gotta say, a bit toast. Hot Bride and I went on a walk yesterday and was like, whoa, can this end? And it was like, we're gonna start earlier, like earlier in the day. And that was fairly early, but no, it's got to be earlier. We're gonna have to like beat sun up, you know what I'm saying? Because it is toasty indeed. I mean, it's not nearly as warm. I said this the other day. It's not nearly as warm here as it is where y'all are. All of you, so many of you guys live in like the South or anywhere in the East, and like we don't have that humidity. Okay, we got no humidity whatsoever. It's like 9% humidity here, and that 9% is relative humidity, so that's even less than it would be over in your guys' neck of the woods. That's like the equivalent to like 1% humidity where you guys are. I don't have the time to go into relative humidity. It's too complicated. But anyways, very dry. So we have a nice dry heat. But also, it's only like 85 here. Some of y'all are like, it's 100, make it stop. I can't. So, you know. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to see you guys. Glad indeed to have you guys in. Tonight's going to be an interesting night. Tonight's going to be a good one. Tonight we get to do the Q&A. Tonight we get to answer y'all's questions. Tonight we answer Notion. Boom. The questions that you guys have submitted to the Notion board. It's an anonymous little thing. You can put in whatever relationship or relationship adjacent question you have. You can punch it through there. I can't even see who they came from. You don't need an account. There's no linking to you of any kind. So as long as you don't put any personal identifiers in there, and I don't recommend putting personal identifiers in there, I'm going to be speaking to the questions as objectively as I can, and the anonymity helps me. So, yeah, if you guys haven't submitted relationship or relationship adjacent questions, now's the time. That board will still be available. That questionnaire, submit as many questions as you want. That will still be available for like 2 months now, because we got a lot of the masterclass left to get through. But tonight, I'm specifically going to be speaking to the singleness related questions, the singleness ones. And that's because we just finished Singleness. We're going through each of the seasons of one's life relationally. Single, dating, engaged, married. Okay? We're going from single to marriage and all the mess in between. We're doing it all. And we spent a whole heck of a lot of time on singleness for an important reason. I've beaten that horse, and I won't belabor the point here. I'll do it later tonight. So yeah, we did the singleness. And so now I'm going to be speaking to only, because no spoilers, the questions that have been submitted about the season of singleness, or are close enough that I can squeeze them in there without spoiling too much of what's to come, because I have every intention of firing up next week. I have to check my schedule. There's something on my calendar that's coming up, and I don't remember which day it is, but it will see us traveling out of state. And I need to find out what day that is. I've been meaning to do that, and now I can't. It's too late. So, one of these upcoming days, one of these upcoming weeks, sometime this month. God, maybe it's July and I'm just crazy. Anyways, at some point I'm gonna have to miss like a Friday and a Saturday because I will be traveling. But that's not today. Anywho, whenever the heck the next one is, I'm dying. Whenever the heck the next one is, we will be starting up on dating. Dating. We finished singleness. Dating is next. So, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. But before that's a thing, I'm going to turn on a fan, because speaking of it being hot, I'm cooking. I'm dying a little bit. I wasn't wearing the jacket today because it was toasty. Now I'm wearing the jacket and I have regrets. But this is a double-breasted, so it's not like I can take this thing off and get down to a vest. This is it. It's a two-piecer. So I'm going to... in Cali, and we have 40% humidity. Yep. And even then, 40% in California, is nothing compared to all the folks over there in the South. I'm familiar with California humidity, and while significantly more humid than here in Nevada, but really high elevation where we are, yeah, that's still West Coast, best coast, you know what I'm saying? That's the East Coast and the South. They are hurting for certain with that humidity. So, anyways, first thing I'm going to do is turn on a fan. Second thing I'm going to do is grab a glass and a beverage, because you guys know that the first component required for an ideal talk is good drink. So, if you haven't got your drink yet, in your grubby mitts, in your meat hooks, now's the time to rectify the situation, okay? Grab a drink and then let me know in chat what it is you are partaking of for a good drink. Mine will be whiskey. I'm thinking the Ardent American. But let me know what it is you are sipping on. It doesn't need to be alcoholic. It can be juice. It can be tea. It can be coffee. It can be water. Okay, you tell me. But I'm going to turn on a fan because it's freaking hot. I'm not even going to have to mute you guys for it. We're just going right over there. Just right over there. We're going. Okay, just real quick like. Just real quick like. It's going to be easy. It's going to be painless. I mean, mostly painless. Mostly. Okay, I guess I haven't done enough talking today. My voice is very upsetty. All right. Chair, do you mind? Unbelievable. Okay. We've got glassware. And Ardent American. Ardent American. Big fan. I like sneeze the Ardent American. It's a good one. It's a good one. Big fan. Big fan, you guys. So yeah, you guys get a little bit of bottle asthma as we kick things off here tonight. Hopefully you guys can't hear the fan, and if you can, I hope it's not too disturbing. But yes, I'm going to get you guys a little bit of bottle asthma to kick us off. We've got our good drink, and then we'll get to the rest of the components of an ideal talk. That's what we'll get to. We'll try that thing. We'll do it. We'll do our level best. Yeah. Yes, indeed. I don't want to hear it. It's 98%. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I already said it right out of the gate, Mel. I was like, I know. It's not as bad as what y'all have. But then again, you chose this. Ooh, buddy. I didn't choose Nevada incident. I got lucky. Marine Corps put me here. I got lucky. Guts, thank you for the lurk. I hope your stream's going well, friendo. At least you're in the high part of Nevada. Vegas is too low. Oh, yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Keep me far the hell away from Vegas. Absolutely not mind. No. No. So, yes, I'm going to have the Ard American. You guys, we're going for a scotch here tonight. Very excited to get a little bit of bottle asthma. Just a baby, just a touch, just a skosh, just a little baby for you, okay? Right? Just a gentle little. That's all, baby. That's what we got. Okay. We're gonna pour a healthy pour because, hey, unfortunately, I don't gotta share this with anybody. I can blum this bottle, yes, I can. I can blum them all day long. So, Herm, it be Herm. Pretty excited. Got grape soda. Oh, hell yeah. Sam's good drink is grape soda. Let's go. Feels like you're in a submarine. Yeah. That's, don't love that. No thanks. Ever broke a glass on screen? No. Why? Did I almost break a glass? I almost dropped a bottle, like, twice. I did spill a bottle once. That was kind of funny and sad. I spilled a little bit. That wasn't so long ago. I almost dropped a bottle years ago, like 2 years ago. So yeah. Okay, so what are the rest of you guys drinking on? We got what Sam's sipping on, baby. Grape soda. What's about the rest of yours? Yeetine stickers. What stickers? Holy cannoli. Listen, I didn't even get to warn you, whoever goes there. Oh, mind, baby. Oh, that's terribly exciting. Mind, gang, listen. Mafia is a welcoming sort, and they tend to show that welcome via stickers, so expect your notifications to blow up as people realize that you've made your way in. That'll happen for a week or 3. Be advised, it's no small thing to join the life. No small thing, and the Mafia recognizes that, so cheers to you getting in on this business. It's good indeed to have you. Welcome. That's friggin' yummy. It's friggin' yummy, I swears. Don't hear the fan at all. Thank you, Intra. That's lovely to know. Doc! Hiya, Doc! It's good to see you. Welcome, sir. Speaking of people who are in temperatures that are way too hot and humid, good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing okay. And if you felt a pain in your hand earlier, it's because I was talking about your hand. Hot Bride said something to the effect of, she saw Hollow Knight, and she's like, oh, that looks like a cute game. Like that looks like a fun, like, cute game to play. And I was like, it's apparently a very difficult game to play. She's like, really? It doesn't look like it. And I said, that's the reason that Doc has, like, carpal tunnel, because he 100%ed those games. So she's like, oh. I was like, yeah. So in case you, like, felt like a ghost pain in the Force, it was me. That's what it is. That's what it was, Doc. Listen, yeah, don't waste a drop. I know it, mind. I know it. If I can help it. And again, if I don't got to share the bottle, we're going to get it, baby. Drink melon medley. Oh, a watermelon cantaloupe. Yes, you can. But not with that attitude. Honeydew. Various chores. Waterloo. I don't know what it is. That's, all right. That's what Doc is sipping on, y'all. Okay. Alcohol abuse. It's exactly right, Intra. That's precisely what it is. Now, what are you going to be sipping on tonight, Intra? That's the question. Before you got to take off for dinner, like, do you have a plan? You going to have something fun? Or is it going to be like, I'll take water? So you can be, like, part of the chronically hydrated club. Who done it? Who go there? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let me see here. The drop was in the last taxes video. Was it? Oh, yeah, probably. Mel remembers. So does Pepperidge Farm. I don't know. I love stickers. Well, you're gonna see quite a few of them. You're gonna see quite a few. Quite a few indeed. Val! Hiya, Val! Blinker fluid. Hi. That's right. The blinker fluid. Yes. The commands don't work on Rumble. They forward over to Twitch, and then they pull from the wrong... The commands don't work on Rumble. I'm sorry. Someday we'll have a command system on Rumble. Right now there isn't one, and it's very good to see you. How you doing, Val? How's you? How's stuff? You surviving all the stuff and all the things? I think about you guys quite a lot. All of you, in particular, the past couple days I've been thinking about all of you who are like newer moms or like ongoing still, like more kids coming, because I've heard in the last week like, oh, well, this one's got a sore throat, this one's got this one's got that, this one's sick with this, I had to go to the doctor because he's got this, because she's got that, and I'm just like, hats off to you guys, okay? Hats off to you. It's only difficult for the mega difficult bosses, not for the regular gameplay. Oh. Huh, really? Is the rest of the game's not difficult, Doc? I didn't know that. I thought it was like I don't know, like one of them challenge games. I thought it was like tough. Is it? Okay, hang on. Wait, no, now I get to Uno reverse your question on you, Doc. Consider the audience. Would it be a simple game for not you? For you, that's one thing. For a super casual gamer who never plays such games and who has no concept of how those works and has never played a game even remotely like it, would they think it easy? That's right. Uno reverse. Thanks for keeping his eyes hydrated. Just heads up, command says, yes! It does steal my points, it's true. It steals my points, ridiculous. Skipped my message about what? I did not. All I saw was alcohol abuse. That's crazy. Oh, tea. And eventually it'll be margaritas. Oh, bet, Intra. That's super exciting. Thank you for calling it out. I appreciate it. Okay. Tea for now. Margaritas later. Dude, margaritas. I'm going to be doing a margarita at some point. Now that we're into summer, one of these Saturday nights, you guys, it's going to be margaritas. Because it's hot. And margaritas, I don't know. They just hit the spot. Maybe it's because they're either on the rocks or you blend them or whatever it is. And obviously that lends itself to a very icy, very cold drink. And maybe that's why they're good for summer. I don't know. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. You associate them with the heat. But whatever the reason, I will be partaking at some point myself. Tonight, though, we're going to have our Arden American. Big fan. Not cold. Room temperature. Tepid. What is the temperature in this room right now? Too high. It's too high. That's what it is. Too high. Loose! Hiya, Loose! Hey, it's good to see you, my dude. Doing as good as can be hoped for at the moment, guys. How goes the evening? Oh, it goes. It's not but begun. Here. We're only 20-something minutes into it. Depending on when people start calling it evening. When do you guys call it evening? So you guys, like, some of you are like, it's evening at 4:30. Others of you are like, it's not evening until 6. And then it's like, it's not evening until dinner. Like, do you guys have like a hard and fast time? Does it depend on the season? Or is it like a meal dependent thing? Like for me, tomorrow doesn't start until I go to sleep. You're like, it's after midnight, it's tomorrow. No, it's not tomorrow until I go to sleep. So if I stay up for several days, I time travel. But yeah, I don't know, when is evening for you guys? It's only 5:23 pum here, so I don't... I'd say we're in evening territory. I don't know if I have a hard and fast rule. I feel like it's like 4 or 5. 5 is probably... Because afternoon to me feels like that ends at like 4:30. But then I feel like evening doesn't start till like 5:30, so there's like this interstitial, like, black hole space in the middle, you know, where like, I don't know, we're in the interstitial space. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's not evening yet, but it's not afternoon either. Where's the rules? Where's the lines? I gotta color with them. Cherry Coke and smoked one down outside just a second ago. It's a good Friday. Oh my goodness. Cherry Coke. Okay. God, I haven't had a Cherry Coke in a long time. I used to love Cherry Coke. That sounds delightful. That sounds delightful. It's not an easy game, but it teaches you how to play along the way. And players get better. Wow. Wow. If they're good students, they'll learn. Is that what I'm hearing, Doc? Is that what I'm hearing? It's not hand braking in general. Just doing what you did, my friend. I was gonna say what you tried to do, more like what you succeeded at. What you succeeded at. Dragon baby! Hello, you wonderful humans. No, you! It's good to see you, madame. I hope that you're well. How the heck you doing? Are you on your vacation? Vacation? How we doing? How we doing? Man, strawberry margaritas is my request. Ooh, okay, I got you. Strawberry margaritas, what's funny is we have margarita mixes that we inherited of all sorts. It's got on a top shelf up there because I don't ever need them, so they just stay out of reach. Yeah, we've got all kinds of different ones, including a strawberry margarita mix. We've done margaritas here before with actual strawberries, but that's like really time consuming. I don't know if you guys have ever done like your own strawberry margaritas, but if you don't want it to be like full of seeds and pulp and stuff like that, you gotta blend the damn things, you gotta strain the stuff, run it through cheesecloth. Like, it's a lot to get essence o strawberry out by its lonesome. Like, that's not a small undertaking. It's a big ask to get that drink cooking. So I tended to have gone with the strawberry margarita mix. I prefer a natural one myself with the regular old citrus, but I think Hot Bride prefers the strawberry ones. I don't know. I'm also thinking I will have to do a mezcal margarita. And if you guys are not familiar, it's like the peated scotch of tequilas. It's very smoky. It tastes like you're drinking a campfire, okay? Mezcal is not a substitution for regular tequila, normally. Do not think, oh, it's just a different kind of tequila. If you don't like drinking the ashes of a campfire that have been strained through cheesecloth, as I just described, you will not like mezcal, okay? But I like a good peated scotch, and so I think it would be fun to try. I don't know if such a thing exists. I'll have to try and find a recipe out there. Otherwise, I'll have to experiment a little. Just a little experimentation. Raids disallowed? Yes? No. Yes? No. Yes. No. Yes. I don't know. I have to check my settings. Check my settings. Were you gonna raid me? That's very sweet of you, Guts. That's very sweet of you indeed. I am grateful. I am grateful. That's very kind. I'm very kind. Shout out at Guts. Gang, if you don't know Guts, you should know Guts. You should give her a look-see. She does a lot of stuff with music. So if you are musically inclined, I think you'll find a lot of goodness to be had there. A whole lot of goodness. Let me check. And the check. Okay. So, yes, okay, raids are disabled. Raids are disabled. So, I will also be running, I'm not going to be running the banner. This is where the confusion came in. I'm not going to be running the banner tonight. And that's because, though raids are disabled, oh, I didn't disable them on Rumble, though. I did not disable them on Rumble. I need to do that. Save. Okay, though they are disabled, I am not going to be lecturing. This is not a formal lecture, and my little ticker says that it's a lecture, and I'm going to be doing reading and stuff like that. That is not true tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be answering your guys' questions, and I want the space to honor you guys for the time that you made, for the questions that you submitted. For those of you who have, I hope that you guys used the board. No shin. That board right there to submit your questions anonymously your relationship or relationship adjacent questions so that I can address them. Again, tonight, I'm going to be addressing the singleness specific sort of questions. Okay, we just finished lecturing on the singleness season. We will be continuing in the next weeks with dating. I know a bunch of you guys are like champing at the bit to get to dating. I know. We're going to get at that. Okay. Tonight, I'm speaking to the singleness stuff, to pick up any of the pieces of stuff I may have missed, and to address a few things that sort of bridge the gap between singleness and dating. And you're like, there's a gap there? Yes, there's a gap there. So, and several of your questions speak to some of that gap. So, I'm going to be addressing those questions in particular tonight, and then some further remarks to close out the season of singleness. And we're going to do that each of the way through. So, you can submit whatever questions you've got, whatever you want for any season. I've already got a bunch of questions submitted. Most of them have been about dating. Okay, and we're going to get to that stuff in the weeks to come. And I have a question about engagement that someone asked, and I have a handful of marriage-related questions. Most of them seem to be around dating, but I do have some singleness ones that I'm going to be speaking to tonight. But yes, so the marriage ones I'm going to do after marriage, the dating ones I'm going to do after dating, etc. Okay, so if you've got questions, it's not too late to submit them, and you can submit them for any season that you would like, and I will address them when appropriate. Okay, capiche, capiche, capiche. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the thing. Guts, that's very sweet of you that you would choose to raid me. I now get to consolidate tabs because you raided Mav. That's pretty exciting. Appreciate you very much. I hope that your stream went well. Means an awful heckin' lot. An awful heckin' lot. Told my people to come here anyways. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, let me see here. Let me see. Eve of night. So before it's dark, but after the afternoon. So it can't be as early as 3. But what about the parts of the world where there's only like 2 hours of daylight, Intra? If you're in like the northern climes, you know what I'm saying? 5 is evening, I always thought. See, okay, see? Lou says, okay. When it's evenly light and dark, right before sunset. So that's a seasonal change. See, this is why I asked you guys. This is why I asked. And this is fascinating. So that would change all year round. So you're like, it's evening now, but it's 3 p.m. Yeah, but it's winter. So, you know. All right, is there a time between afternoon and evening? Like how twilight is between dawn and dusk? I don't know. I don't know if there's a name for it. It's like dinner, but I never liked. Brunch is much funnier. They're back, so I'm off my vacation. Oh, okay. I'm good. Just got my hair out. Oh, hair cut. I'm like, you got your hair out? Like, you took your hair down? Like, come on, babe, let your hair down. Like, was that? Oh, that's what I was picturing. All right. Haircut, how's that feel? I just got my hair cut, too. It's pretty great. Hot Bride did a pretty freaking bang-up job. And boy, howdy, it's just in time, too, because it's hot. It's called a blender. Yeah, but the blend, you still get the pulp stuff in there, Intra, with chunks. Yeah, you get rid of the, no chunks. No. Stop saying strawberries. Now I want strawberries, and I don't have any. Oh my gosh, I swore. Unbelievable. Martin! It's good to see you, Martin. I hope that you're well. I feel like every time I ask, there's always something happening in your world, friendo. But I'm glad that you're here. Musically inclined. Indeed. There be moo cows. Evening seems to be based on the light or dark. Oh, okay. All right. See, I've always mine's stuck to the time. Mine is not contingent on the what the sky is doing. Like, what if this was mine said earlier? What if you're in a submarine? When is evening? What if you don't see the sunlight? Or if you live in the northern climes where you go through a whole season where the sun don't shine, weeks of darkness. What about that? When is evening? If you're in space, when's evening? You have to have a clock in order to keep track of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're circling the Earth on the International Space Station, you're gonna. I hear an alert. Oh, hey, I know who that is. I know who go there. Wait, are my alerts not working? Interesting, that's a twist. Why wouldn't they? I wonder which way that fish did go. I broke chat again. Jeez, listen, I tabbed out 1 second. Oh my gosh. Devastating is what it is. Absolutely devastating, but I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Thank you. I appreciate you. Means an awful lot. Better. Good. I'm glad you like it better. I'm glad you like it, Dragon Baby. That's cool. That's cool. A little bit cooler. Get a trim, an Apex pack for Mel. Holy cannoli. It's crazy that we're that far in, but there's time for a second. That's crazy. Okay. We're going. We got it. Disappointment pack on the list. We go. We go. We fly. We fly. Gotta be slightly AFK, but can't hear. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Gotta be slightly AFK, but okay. Are we too old for Leo now? I don't know what that means. Why my page crashed, or is that just Chrome? Leanne! Hi, Leanne! It's good to see you. Thank you for calling out, Leanne. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know why. Listen, internet's been weird today, Leanne. I had to refresh your stream periodically throughout. And I don't think that was a you thing, because I had to do it for several people today. Today was really weird. I'm like, is it my internet? Like, what is going on? And now Firefox is like, it's performing better than it was in some ways, and it's broken in other ways. I'm confusion. I don't know what's going on. It's been a strange day. Leanne, how are you? How was your stream, dear? Glad indeed to have you in. My goodness gracious. Saying it's evening when the sun is viewable, even when it's 8 p.m., it hurts my brain. Yeah, see, listen. It's evening. Those times for me are independent of the sunshine. Maybe it's because I've worked jobs like that where you don't see the sun. You know, where you work nights and so forth, and you're asleep during the day and you work commission all night. Like, I've worked those jobs. You have to have a distinction between morning and afternoon and evening to keep you sane, you know? I don't know. Okay, bye-bye. I got you on lurks. Thank you, Intra. I appreciate you and your tabs. Please pass along my best, maybe our best from the gang here to your fam dam. I hope that dinner treats you right. Let us know how the margaritas turn out, yeah? Yeah. That's why I was dropping the links. I appreciate it very much indeed. Drev! Hiya, Drev! It's good to see you. Always is. Always is. How's the time zones treating you, Drev? I hope that you're well. Time zones indeed. Isn't it heckin' late? Isn't it heckin' late? That's mad on us. OBS was being rude today. I don't know. I blame the solar flares. Are there solar flares going on? Maybe that's what it is, Leanne, because my OBS was messing up too. My OBS was messing up, and I was like, I almost put out in my, like, go live tonight, like, internet's been a bit iffy today, you guys. I'm sorry if something goes wonky. But yeah, okay, it's not just me. Something was amiss. Something was strange. Something was strange. Val! Hi, Val. Hello, hello. It's super good to see you. I hope that you're well. I saw your message, you sweetheart. Hope you're doing okay. Hope Bebe is doing okay. Are we doing all right? You don't have to answer any of that here, but hope you guys are doing all right. Hope it all went okay. Hope we've got an end in sight, a solution in place. We're tackling, taking care of the sicko bebes. I hope. I hope. Going got a call from mother-in-law. Oh, had to go out? So I'm here. I'm not happy about it. Oh, no. I'm glad that you're here, Trav. But I hate that it's at the cost of sleep. I'm sorry. It's pretty lousy. By mother-in-law, I mean his mom. Mouse! Hi, Mouse! Hello, hello! Mouse! Ha-ha! Thank you for the lurk, Mouse. Appreciate you an awful lot. Don't think this is really a place to talk about it. Fair enough. Nothing. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Nothing can fix the issue. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, text in Twitch chat is an impoverished medium for weightier things. It's true. It's true. Okay. Speaking of weighty things, gang, I have delayed long enough. We're going to be getting into it. As threatened, tonight, I am going to be addressing the questions that have been submitted anonymously. You don't have to have an account. You don't have anything. I can't see who they are. Nobody knows who they are, okay? Except for you. It goes right here. It's a single question questionnaire. You could fill out whatever your relationship or relationship adjacent question is. They all go to a little, like, like infill thing for me, and then I can read them. Okay, I have no idea who they're from. So I'm going to be speaking to the ones tonight that have to do with the season of singleness and sort of singleness adjacent sort of stuff. Okay, that's what tonight is purposed with. We are still in the relationships masterclass right now, and as we clean up singleness, I will be putting a nice pretty bow on it, or to the best of my ability. And I'm not going to try and keep you guys around here 4 hours or whatever. I'm going to be trying to be somewhat succinct and quick about this. But yeah, I was not exhaustive with singleness in the lecture portions, so there's always more that I could say. And if you have something that is very personal, specific to you, again, you can submit your questions anonymously. Don't put in personal identifiers in there. And yeah, we can tackle it there. But also, if you have questions that you're, like, even if you're not worried about anonymity or whatever it is, it does help if you use the little form thing and submit them in there. So I've got them in a nice place I can reference. Because if it's in chat, I'm going to lose it. If it's in chat, it's going to run away from me. It's going to just vanish off the screen because I will be able to see chat tonight. So, use the form, please. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. It means an awful lot. An awful lot. S'mores! Hi, S'mores. Good to see you, madame. Good to see you indeed. Hope that you're well. For context, it's like 20 to 2 in the morning. Called him at midnight. He'd been asleep for about 30 minutes, and I was just falling asleep. I hate that. I'm sorry, Drev. I am sorry. That's super gross. Super gross. For those who don't have context, my toddler has a severe double ear infection again and may need tubes. What? He's doing better, still cranky, but saw his pediatrician and they're on the mend. Got the referral too. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That's a gnarly thing indeed, Val. I'm sorry, that sounds rough. Curling up with some tea for the masterclass, bet. Wrong meme at the end. No, I like it. I like it. Curling up. Mod check. Mod check. I like it. I like it. For sure. Got you. Many streamers have been going through it with their connections and apps. For me, if one of those sliding ads pops up, the stream crashes. And then it pops up. Interesting mind. So you think it's interplay between ad blockers? You think that the platforms or the various hosts are like rejecting, they're putting all this stuff in there to fight ad blockers, and that's what's breaking it? That wouldn't surprise me in the least. I have had a lot of people say their solution was disabling ad blockers and then getting everything, and then they re-enabled their ad blockers and everything worked again. I don't know. I don't have the ad block that blocks ads on Twitch. I don't have any of that. So whenever I've got you guys pull up on lurks, the ads are running. I never did set up something to get away from that, but also I don't really get to watch Twitch streams, so they don't have an effect on me anyhow. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So, hey, if the functionality is broken for everybody else, maybe that's something to look into. Bad enough. Better to know. Lost in the sauce. Am existing. Oh my gosh. 5 whole assisted squats at PT. Let's go. And then got taken out by an infection in my foot. What? Trying to balance the things. An infection in your foot. Oh my gosh, s'mores. I'm so sorry. And that was on Tuesday. And so you're like, I did it. We're crushing it, baby. And then this is now what you're saddled. I'm sorry, s'mores. That's frustrating. That is frustrating. All right, gang. Raids are disabled. We're locked in. We've got drink in hand. Element number 1 of an ideal talk. Element number 2 would be good smoke, good cigar, but I don't get to have that thing tonight. Too many logistics things, and we have company. So, element number 3, dear friends, and this is where each week I come empty-handed, and that is good company. Dear friends, it's only because of you that I get to do this thing, that I get to partake in this, that I get to try and serve you guys, hopefully do so well, and not just passively, but well. And it's never lost on me that though it's a Friday evening and you could be spending that time any old where doing any old thing, here you are doing it here. And that's quite the thing. Quite the thing. So it's to you that I get to raise my second glass now of the evening. That remarkable sort, that remarkable caliber of human who would choose hard mode. Cheers to you. And it's frickin' yummy. That is friggin' yummy. Unbelievable. Brookie! Oh my gosh, it's Brooke. You, Jim, brought you cookies. You, Jim, bringing in cookies. Gang. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Hey, I'm glad to see you, madame. I'm glad indeed to have you in. I hope the time zones have been kind to you and that June's off to an okay start. Glad to have you in. I always appreciate the cookies. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Also, big thanks are in order to all the people who sponsor this project without whom I don't get to do any of it. This is not a hobby. This is a business. This is a full-time job that I work 80 hours a week at, and I am trying to break even. So we're still operating at a loss, and I'm bankrolling this project because you guys are worth it. So thank you guys to everybody who has supported this, who has sacrificed their hard-won dollars to give this thing a shot at a future. I wouldn't get to be here tonight talking about relationship things with you lovely lot were it not for their like. So, big thanks especially to the public patrons through Rumble, through Coffee, through Patreon. Thank you to Aki, Leanne, Gail, Goose, Mammy, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pencil, Pre, Ryan, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, CJ number 1, and Zin. Thank you guys. It means an awful heckin' lot. An awful heckin' lot. And again, if people want to support this project, best way to do that is through Rumble Premium. You can sign up using the tab below on my Rumble page, and all of that support goes to support me. Rumble takes none of that. Rumble takes 0. Your payment processor takes a few percentage points, and that's it. The rest goes toward ensuring that this thing all happens. So, yeah, it means an awful lot. You can get the discount rate, all those things. So that is an option, you guys. It is an option. And I'm grateful for you guys considering it. Thank you guys again. Time step us. Let's get into it, shall we? Shall we? Okay. So, again, I'm tackling the questions you guys have submitted through the Notion form. At any point, if you guys want to pull this thing up, you can submit your questions anonymously right there through the Notion page. Again, there's no sign up, there's no tracking, there's no account, there's no nothing. It's all anonymous. So whatever your spicy questions are, I will not be scared off by them. Tonight, I'm going to be addressing the singleness ones in particular. Okay, so first things first. I have, there are some questions that were submitted that are very specific to a person, okay? And it includes things like demographics and certain life circumstances, background information, all that jazz, okay? I don't necessarily want to go into all of that because I don't want anybody to feel outed. I don't want anybody to feel singled out. I'm going to give vagaries, okay? And where there are names, I'm going to omit those, of course. And so I'm going to be speaking to the principle of the question, the heart of each question, okay? Trying to intuit what the spirit behind them is. Several questions are similar, so I will be sort of lumping them together and addressing, again, the spirit of those questions. So in case you're like, hey, he didn't read off my question verbatim, I'm not reading off questions verbatim, as it were, okay? So if that's you, that's why. Yeah, and again, submit whatever questions you want for whatever season of relationship you are interested in having your questions answered about, and I will address them when appropriate after we conclude that portion of the Relationships Masterclass. So now that we're done with singleness, we do singleness. Okay, we're into it. We're ready. We're going, you guys. Raids are disabled, and we're locked in. So first question. I want to jump in with this one and address the spirit of this also. This is technically a dating question. This is in the season of dating, but it is not something that I want to sit on for forever. It's something that I can speak to because the answer, though the question is about dating, my answer will be about singleness. And so we're going to get to that. Ghost, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Panda, a pleasure. I hope that you're both well. Freshly baked cookies. No stale cookies. Dang, none of them stale store-boughts. That's crazy. Thank you, Brookie. Appreciate you, madame. Yes, I do. Yeah, so excited. We rise again. For interesting guess words. All sat. All sat. First question. Is it possible to have a healthy relationship with someone many time zones apart, and you're hardly ever able to see one another in person? This is a question about long-distance relationships, obviously, right? Again, this is sort of a dating question, and the answer you would think, my answer, one might think, would be to do with dating logistics. But I will say, the reason that this is a singleness answer for me is because of all the stuff that I harped on the past weeks in saying, remember what singleness is for? Remember our definition, our working definition for what singleness is purposed with? This is the occasion, the season, the opportunity, the only one. The only one. Okay? Singleness is purposed with answering who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue. That's it. Before adding another person to the equation. That's what singleness is purposed with. Who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue. What's worth your life, what you're after, what you think is a worthy aim that you're going to yeet your life in the general direction of, okay? Or the specific direction of, if you get it down to the particulars, okay? That's what singleness is for. I said then, in a loose way, this is tying the two seasons together here. This is a sort of stepping stone into the dating portion of all of this in the coming weeks. Find out the answers to those questions, and then find someone who has done that same thing and link arms with them. Why? Because of the illustration I used before, whereby if you link arms with somebody and then you go different directions, you're screwed. Your relationship is screwed. So is your life. So is your mission. So is everything that you have pointed your life toward. It's screwed. If the person with whom you've linked arms is going a different direction. It doesn't matter if their direction is good or bad. I mean, that matters too. But it screws everything up because it's different than yours. That's the trouble you'll get into. That's the problem. You're like, I want to go pursue meth. And this person's like, I want to not. Your relationship won't work. And if you both say, I'm going to pursue meth, and then one of you changes your mind, okay, now you're at a tug of war again, and the efficacy of either of you is ruined. It's torpedoed the whole thing. So, that said, who you are, what you believe, what you'll pursue. Now, who you are is what you continuously do. That's what you are. That's who you are. I don't know who I am. I haven't figured that out yet. I can answer that question right now. You tell me what it is you believe, which will inform what you pursue. Okay? Tell me what your thoughts are about the world. Worldview type questions. Okay? You tell me what you believe. You tell me what you think is important, what's unimportant, what you're indifferent toward. You tell me all of those thoughts. Those lead to actions. Those lead to behaviors. What you get up to is informed by what you believe, right? If you had this, for some reason, locked in thought that punting puppies was like the way of the world, and you really ought to do that, it will inform you doing that. And then you'll be off punting puppies. And, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that thing. Don't go punting puppies. But if you do, it'll inform your behavior. If you are convinced that that's a good thing, it'll inform what you do. If, on the other hand, you think punting puppies is bad, and actually what's good is stopping people from punting puppies, your actions will be stopping that behavior. You see? So, what you believe informs what you do. You are what you continuously do. So if I skip all the way to the end here, come back around to the front, who you are, I can find that out by observing you. What do you continuously do? You can say quite a lot. You can say, oh, I care about this thing. Oh, yeah, this is really important to me. But if the hours don't reflect that, you're lying. To me, sure, but also to yourself. No, I prioritize my health. And there's nothing about your lifestyle or your body that reflects that. Then that's just a fib. It just ain't so. So who are you? It might be a very uncharitable answer. You might not like that answer. But I very much do encourage you to ask it, entertain that question. Have a chat with the mirror about this. What do you continuously do? Another cheat for this is show me your calendar. Show me your schedule for the day, for the week, for a month. Show me what your day is. Show me a time audit for your life. And I will tell you who is texting me. Everybody I know is here. What the actual hell is happening? Why is that like 5 text messages? Oh, it's because like 90 people just went live. Dear God. Okay. Show me your calendar. Show me your schedule, and I will tell you what you believe. These work in order here, okay? You show me what you get up to, I'll tell you who you are. And I'll tell you what you believe. That informs all that you get up to. So, really straightforward. You say, I'm a big believer in, show me your calendar. Well, what's the problem? I care about my health. I care about my fitness. Do you? I was just talking to a dear friend about this. Someone says, "Oh no, I'm health conscious and I'm an athlete." Oh, are you an athlete? Okay, great. Show me your calendar for the year. Oh yeah, look at that. January 1st, you were in the gym or you were hitting the trails. You're out there running. Oh, laced up them old shoes. Okay, great. And then on the 2nd, no, you were hurting, so you didn't. Okay. On the 3rd, but the 3rd you went out for a little while, and then the 4th, and then you said, I'll pick it back up next year. This isn't my year. Are you an athlete? No, you're not an athlete. You are what you continuously do. You only get to say you're an athlete if you are. If you continue to do it. Instead, it might be, I'm the sort of person who starts something and then quits as soon as it gets tough. Who are you? Maybe you're the sort of person who quits the moment things get painful. Maybe you're the sort of person who quits in the face of accusations like this. So, okay, back to the question. Long-distance relationships. Can they work? What about these long-distance relationships? My posit is that a relationship is about amplifying efficacy, okay? I said in the weeks preceding this that the purpose of singleness is to find out what is worth spending your life in pursuit of. Again, that's a worldview question. That's what's worth it? If you are you got a bleeding heart for like orphans in third world, and you spend your time fundraising and building orphanages, and I've known several of these people, and you build orphanages all over the world and stuff like that. That's amazing. That's awesome. You have found something worth pouring yourself into. You say there's suffering out there, and you know what? And I've had people put it this way, okay? Several people I know in the healthcare field have said this, and in various ministries and outreach programs and nonprofits, okay? Lots of folks have said something like this, and maybe you have a thought like this too, when I mention orphans somewhere. The kids didn't do anything wrong. I want to take care of the kids. Adults kind of made their bed. Many adults chose the problems they're in, right? Many of the adults, yes, they need care. Yes, they need help. But also, I don't have a bleeding heart for that. I don't have a bleeding heart for someone who's in a bad spot because of decisions they made. Like I do for children who have no say in it whatsoever. They just ended up here. Because like I said in a previous series, life just happens to kids. They don't get a choice. It just happens to them. That's how kids work, right? Your family says, we're moving. And you're like, I don't want to. Okay, we're moving. Like, you don't get to put your foot down as a little kid, right? Life happens at you. You don't have a say. Other people I know are the reverse of that, where they say, I don't want to help kids. They won't even understand or appreciate the circumstances. Meanwhile, I have a soft spot for people in addiction and recovery because I've been down that road. I've made those bad decisions. I see what sort of terrible places it can land you. And I've got a broken heart for people who are walking that path. Because I know what it's like, and God, I wish somebody would have helped me when that was going on, and by golly, I'm going to help them. We know several people like that here in this community. Troy comes to mind. Okay? Working with people in addiction. We've got a bunch who do this stuff. So you decide, I'm going to aim my life at this. That's your mission statement. It's been my encouragement to you guys the past month now. Write out a mission statement for your life. And again, some people were like, that sounds ridiculous. Okay. You can be the sort of person who takes terribly important things not seriously. That can be you. Do you want to have healthy relationships or not? Write a mission statement for your life. That is terribly important here. That has nothing to do with your partner. Write a mission statement for your life. This is what I have decided is worthy of my years, of my time, of my talents, and of my treasures, my resources. What will I actually put up? Like, where will I put my money where my mouth is? What will I actually, do something about? Okay? It can be raising a family. If you decide, I really want to have kids, I really want to raise up the next generation, maybe you want to be a teacher, and you really want to educate that next generation, even if they're not your own biological kids, right? After all, lots of people can't have kids for a whole host of reasons. So, okay, you say, I'm going to do this for the kids. I'm going to do this for the adults. I'm going to do this for this. Okay, awesome. Now we're to the long distance thing. If relationship is, I have found my mission statement. I have found what is worthy of my life, and I'm going to go in that direction. Here's a spoiler for what dating is, okay? As we bridge the gap here into the next coming weeks. Dating is pursuing your life's purpose, pursuing the things that make up who you are, what you believe, what you'll pursue, okay? Pursuing those things, and then, as you're doing it, looking around and see who's going there with you. That's what dating is. No, I thought it was seeing if we had compatible sense of humor. It is not. It is, I have decided that my life ought go this way, to do these things. Regardless of what happens to me, I have decided that this is important, and I'm gonna go that away. Great, awesome. Look around while you're doing it. As you pursue your life's goal, your life's mission, lots of people will cross your path, y'all. Some will go, ooh, going this way, ooh, going this way, and a lot of them are going to be cute. But guess what? If they're going that way, it doesn't matter how cute they are. They're not eligible. They're going to ruin your life, but they're hot. It doesn't matter. You decided through all the heartbreak and legwork, and then you actually put it into practice. You've perhaps already sacrificed and worked, which I encouraged you guys to do last week. You've actually put blood and sweat equity into this, and you are pursuing your life's mission. It doesn't matter how cute the person is if they're going that way. Or that way, or that way, or that way. Any other way than the way you are going. Now, there will be people that are going your direction that have decided that what you have chosen to pursue is important to them also. You will run across those people. They will. You'll be heading in and you're like, oh, are we going the same direction as me? Okay. You're running in that direction and so are they. Which one of them is cute? Which one of them can you hit it off with? Which one of them do you run over alongside of them and you start chatting up them? Then your work is multiplied, compounded. That's what a relationship is for. Compounding efficacy. Going through this stuff, arms linked, pursuing the highest conceivable good. That's what a relationship is. And if you think it's for something else, you're setting yourself up for quite a lot of hurt. It's so I'm not lonely anymore. Oof. Uh-oh. There's a lot of unworthy reasons to get into a relationship. And so if the relationship is purposed with multiplying one's own efforts, like a draft horse, we've talked about this elsewhere. Giant draft horses pull big loads. Say this one can pull 10,000 pounds, right? And the one next to it can also pull 10,000 pounds. The two horses, okay, they can each pull 10,000 pounds. So you yoke them together, and then they pull a load. How much do you think they can pull? The answer, not 20,000 pounds. Far more. They are more than the sum of their parts. Okay? They can pull like double. So you're like, oh, they can pull 20,000 pounds because it's 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay, easy. No, it's like 40,000. Their efficacy is multiplied by their combined effort. That is what relationships are. That's why we talked about not being unequally yoked 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. Last week? Whatever. One of the last couple weeks. Relationships are that. You pulling up next to somebody else and compounding your own, what you would be capable of singly. Long distance. If there is a plan to unite in person, if there is a plan to reunite, to unite, to whatever it is, one of you is moving here, the other, to actually join, great. Hopefully it's a short time. But there must be an end to that time apart. There has to be. Hot Bride and I were separated for 14 months because of the military, okay? Orders had us on different sides of the country, and it was really annoying, okay? 14 months we were apart. But orders came, and there was a definite end to those days. And we counted down those days, and we visited in the meantime, and we talked every day and all that jazz. But there still needed to be a resolution to the distance, because we were each effectively single while apart. Like a single person's got to go shop for themselves, we were both single, each shopping for ourselves. Single person's got to pay their own bills and figure out all the stuff in the mail. Both of us were doing that separately. The person got to answer the phone and answer the door to neighbors and the problems and whatever else, and so did the other. We were effectively single for 14 months. No, we weren't like, we weren't like on a pause in our relationship or anything like that, but we were effectively single with our efficacy. Not with our intentions toward one another, not with our hopes for unification and all that jazz, not with our plan and our expected return, none of that. I mean, in practical day-to-day terms, we were single. Which means, holding down the fort here in Reno, one person was doing all the effort by themselves, unassisted. Their efficacy was stunted. Same goes for the other one across the country. Efficacy stunted by us being single again, as it were. Yeah, we'd already been married for years, and our efficacy was back to that. So what good is the long-term relationship doing? What good is it? Again, if there's a plan to get back together, if there's it's a temporary thing, military is a great example for this. You don't have any say in that. I didn't choose this. We didn't choose to be apart. Maybe you go on a temporary duty. Maybe it's a PCS, permanent change of station. Okay? If you say, yeah, I'm going to move there, when will you be back? I won't be. It's not a relationship. We'll wing it. We'll figure it out. What? So the question, if you are many, many time zones apart, are you effectively still single? If so, you're missing out on what relationships are for. You have a pen pal, and that's great. That's great. Have a pen pal. Gang, have pen pals. Have people that are a bunch of time zones away with whom you communicate, with whom you do things, with whom you do life. Do that. We've got, obviously, our medium here is perfect for this. We have people here in this community from every frickin' time zone. Okay, we got folks from everywhere, and doing life alongside you guys is remarkable. But what we do in community here is a pale comparison to what can happen with in-person community, especially if your efforts are physical in nature. Say you're building homes for people. You can't be on mission together if you're not physically there to build the home. You see? This is the hang-up with the long-distance type stuff. It can't be forever. There must be a plan to unite. And then to join arms, to join hands, and tackle life together. Hot Bride and I, like, it's a simple example, okay? There are far more complex ones and far more compelling ones, but I don't want to get into all of the intrigue where this simple illustration will do. We got a lot of plants. Many of you guys know this. Many of you guys have seen the house tour. If you want to see the house tour, you can punch in !tour in chat. It's on YouTube. Okay, it's probably on Rumble too. I'm not sure. You can see the house tour. You can see all the plants. We have a lot of plants, okay? And those plants don't take care of themselves. There's a lot that goes into taking care of our Jumanji house, okay? We get a lot of plants. If either of us, Hot Bride or me, singly, has to do plant care, it's an overwhelming burden. Just like a weekly sort of deal. If we're doing weekly watering, during the summer, we usually do like twice a week. But during the winter, it's like a once a week deal. You go around with a moisture meter and you measure the moisture of all of the soil for all 100 plus plants. Okay? You stick the moisture meter in there and then you see if you're going to water it. And we have a lot of plants. And a lot of the plants are really big. And so if one of them needs watering, that might be your entire watering can. And we got like a 3-gallon watering can, okay? We got a big-ass watering can. We go through like 4 of those in a single watering session. So now you got to go mix up the fertilizer, get the water, mix out all that together, refill that like 4 times, and then go through the entire house, measure every plant, water every plant. Okay, there's air plants that you need to spray down with a spritz bottle. We've got the carnivorous plants that need special water. Okay, they need distilled water, so they need to be watered separately. We've got aeroid mix type stuff where it's not so simple. You can't measure it with the moisture meter. Now you got to lift it up out of its pot to see what the roots are doing down in the rock tray. Okay, I won't. If she does the watering for a given week, it'll take her hours. If I do the watering for a given week, it'll take me hours. Hours. Just one round of watering for everything in here. Just one. And that's not to mention doing the moss poles. If you add on the moss poles and you do that once a week, we're talking like 4 hours, y'all. Like 4 hours just to do the watering. But if we do it together, we can bang out the entire thing in 45 minutes. I carry around the watering can and climb up on things, and she has the moisture meter. She says, this one, this one, this one, round, we go, baby. While I'm putting water bottles on moss poles, she's refilling water. Round and round. Our efforts don't just make it twice as fast. They make 4 hours of work, 45 minutes of work. Do you see it? Being together, joined together, arm in arm, physically matters if your mission is physical in nature. Okay? But even if it's not, a romantic relationship does require proximity. Okay? And I don't even just mean the sexual type stuff. Unfortunately, yes, we will get to that down the line here further into the relationships masterclass, because unfortunately I will be giving the sex talk. It is the least comfortable I have ever been, is when historically I gave this talk on stream, and golly, I'm gonna have to do it again. But I love you guys. And I will do it because I love you guys. As uncomfortable as it will make me. I am not going to wear a jacket that night because I will sweat through it with discomfort, stress. But that's not tonight. There is an element of that, sure. But there is a great deal to laying in bed next to one another. There is an element to physical touch that matters a great deal. Holding hands matters. Looking into one another's eyes matters. And you don't get that through a video chat call. It's not the same as breathing the same air. Having the pheromones that are coming off of your body and the oxytocin and all of the hormones and all the... You don't get that at distance. And you need it for bonding. So, long distance relationship. If you are both on the same page with mission, if both of you have decided, no, I am going to point my life in this direction, and they say, me too, that's awesome. And maybe you guys hit it off, and maybe you guys can chat really easy. You've got some chemistry there. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. But there's no plan to reconcile physically the gap. One of you to move to where the other is. You're great candidates for a friendship. Be friends, platonically, at a distance. Celebrate one another's wins. Celebrate the good that you guys can get up to in remote community with remote humaning. Like we do here in the Mafia, to an enormous extent. We are all very geographically disparate. We are all super widespread in this community. Tons of us. There's a handful of you who live here in the valley, and it's been very nice getting to meet a bunch of you in person. That's really cool. But it's not a romantic relationship. And that wouldn't work long distance. If Hot Bride were not here, it doesn't work. Can't be distance forever. Okay? Okay. It's a long answer to a fairly short question, and that's because of the spirit behind it. Again, this is about, are we on the same page? And all of that needs to be addressed in singleness. And if you don't have answers to those questions, to button this up, if you don't know who you are, what you believe, what you'll pursue, you're not fit for any relationship, distance or otherwise. I'm just telling it to you straight. Maybe someone has told you different advice. Maybe someone has given you bad advice. But that's the truth. If you are to be a good candidate for romantic relationship with another human whose time you respect enough not to waste, you need to have answers to those questions. Satisfactory answers. Not trash ones like, I guess I'm a piece of crap who doesn't believe in anything and I'm down for whatever. Terrible answers. And if you are saying, if you're brushing this off, saying, dismissively saying, I don't need any of this stuff, that is what you are saying about the person that you would purport to date. You're saying they are that unimportant. If they are not important enough for you to get this stuff sorted out, that says a great deal. Don't settle for somebody who treats you like that, incidentally. Okay. So, that leads to the next question. How much of a successful relationship is choosing the right person versus becoming the right kind of partner? This is sort of a question of how much of it do they have to have figured out and together, and how much of it do I have to have and figured out and together? And I suspect you already know my answer. Both. I have an illustration for this for you guys. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I was going to tell you guys a bit of my story. And here I will. I had a very long relationship before I met Hot Bride, okay? Had a long-term relationship, lasted 4 years. 4 years. Some of that was distance. Some of that's because of orders, because of the Marine Corps. And some of that was because of college, okay? And decisions to live in different places and pursue different things. you can probably guess where all of this is going. While we were together, geographically, things were very nice. You know, I was a teenager going into my early 20s, and I had the attitude of, I'm going to be the best partner. That was my plan. I put relationships on a pedestal, this huge pedestal. And I said, I'm not going to be like those dirtbags who don't have like anything to bring to a relationship. I'm not going to be like one of them. I'm not going to, no. I am going to be, man, I'm going to be the right person. I'm going to be a catch. I was very intentional about this. Okay, so follow me here. I said, I'm going to learn to cook so that I can wow her, whoever she is. I'm single at the time, okay? Looking to be in a relationship, and I'm like, I'm going to take cooking classes. So I did. I'm going to work in a kitchen. So I became a chef. At a very nice restaurant. Michelin star. I learned an awful lot about this. And my mindset was to get the girl. I did all of that to impress a girl, whichever girl would run across my path. I wanted that to be on my resume of what I brought to the table. Okay? Cooking, being able to cook, know my way around the kitchen. I heard that was a sexy thing, and I said, by golly, that's going to be me then. I learned how to give massages. I took courses on how to give good massages, physical therapy type stuff. I didn't get certified or anything like that. I know some of you like actually do this for a living. Not on your level. Not trying to, okay, not on your level. I'm not that cool kid. But I was no slouch. And I could give a couple types of mean massage. Same thing. Wanted to add that to my resume of what it is I brought. Okay? To whomever would cross my path. I learned to sing a little bit. That's not one I really kept up on. I wanted to learn an instrument. I wanted to learn piano. So I took piano classes. Same thing. With the attitude of, I'm going to wow the girl. I'm going to win the girl. Wouldn't it be cool if we went somewhere and there's like a piano that you can just play? And I was like, oh, the piano, that's crazy. And I was like, well, I can like, you know, dust off the rust and see what we can manage here. And then you sit down and you play something beautiful. That's the picture I had in my brain. I spent all this time building up my dating resume, as it were. What it is I bring. But I didn't answer the question, what was my mission? I didn't have a mission statement, you guys. Some of you hearing that are like, damn, that's cool. That's a lot of good stuff to bring to a relationship. Okay, can cook. He's like super clean and tidy and stuff like that. He's really got like his living situation figured out. He's got his financial house in order. All good things. A guy can give massages. He can play piano. Okay, listen. All of that is wind. If you don't have a mission statement. I'm single at the time. And if you had put the screws to me and said, what's your mission statement? If you had demanded an answer, you're not allowed to leave until you give me an answer of what's your mission statement. If that's you, I would have had to answer something to the effect of, my mission statement is to make someone else's life as comfortable as possible. My mission statement is to wow a girl. Is to be better than the other guys as a prospect. What's my mission statement? To look good. I worked out like crazy. I counted every single calorie. I was on a crazy nutrition system, okay? I had fasting days mixed in with like, this is my protein, this is a macro loading day for this and that, and the workouts to match. I had this super strict regimen. And I had a 6-pack. It's more like an 8-pack at the time. I was like, you get it. I was really single-digit body fat. And I was like cut, looking good, baby. And I was ready to wow. What's my mission statement? Look good. Literally and figuratively. Seem a little hollow to anyone else? I didn't catch that at the time. I didn't know that. I didn't have anybody in my life to tell me what I'm now telling you. I didn't have a relationships masterclass in my life when I went through all of this stuff. I didn't have any wisdom, and I didn't have any wise mentors. I didn't have anybody who was learned in these areas, the ways of relationships. All I had was the internet, social media. How do you get the girl? Have a six-pack. So, I get the girl. Hooray, I got the girl. Now what? Let's take her completely out of this, by the way. Let's take her completely out of the relationship. How she behaved, which wasn't great. We'll get to some of that later in the series, okay? Let's take her entirely out of the equation. The relationship ends. For, again, reasons I'm not going to get into tonight. The whole mess, the whole story. Relationship ends, yeah? I end the relationship. I'm devastated. I just put years of my life, 4 years of my life into this relationship. 4 years. And it's over. It's gone. Down the drain. Wasted. And I'm devastated. Inconsolable for days. Like a better part of a week. And I described it as if there were a hole in my life. I said the thing that many of you have said in heartbreak. There's a hole where so-and-so used to be. Big old crater in my life. I did not have good counsel then. I do now. The season of singleness is purposed with answering the question who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue before adding another person to the equation, before adding another person to the mix. I did not have a mission statement. That was independent of the girl. I did not have a mission statement. That was independent of the object of my pursuit in the relationship sphere. Which means, as soon as that relationship was over, I had a hole in my life. You guys know that illustration? You guys know the old heart necklaces? Popular in like the 90s and the aughts and all of that. It's like you have half of a heart and this person has half of the heart, right? Maybe you do it with your bestie. You had half of the heart on your necklace and they had half the heart on their necklace. I don't know if any of you had that. Comment below if you had that in one of those heart necklaces with your buddy, with your bestie. Okay? A lot of ladies had these things. That illustration, and it's been used countless times since then, right, is you have half of my heart. Or when they're traveling, half of my heart is in, insert state they're in, insert country they're traveling to. Half of my heart, I left it over back wherever. It sounds very cute. It's also awful advice. It's also an awful perspective. Do I prefer to be around Hot Bride? Absolutely I do. For a whole host of reasons. She's swell as hell. I love doing life with her. But she's not half of me. My mission exists independent of her. Which means I'm not hanging the weight of my well-being around her neck with a necklace like that. That says half of me depends on you. Don't mess up. Don't screw it up. Don't ever leave. That's not love. It's not cute. It's sick. To saddle another human being with that. You who are here listening to this right now, you know this. Your life is hard enough just managing you. Your life is messy enough just managing you. And your stuff. Isn't it? Then you add someone else to the mix and your life becomes even more complicated. Now, what happens when one of those people shows up and says, hey, now you're responsible for all of this too. And they heap it on top of you. Is that love? Is that kind? Is that sweet? No, that's crushing. And no human can bear that burden. No one. I'm over here with a six-pack and I got all these things together. I couldn't bear that weight. Doesn't matter how much stuff I got together. I need to be competent by myself. Your own oxygen mask first. It isn't cute to say, you are responsible for my well-being. That ain't cute. But that's effectively what I did to her, my ex. Effectively, I said, I will not be okay if you mess this up. And she did mess it up. Big time. I'm not saying it's because I saddled her with my well-being. But the fallout on my end, again, set her aside for a minute, the fallout on my end was just as bad regardless. I was an inconsolable wreck. And I said, in effect, same thing. Half of my heart is now gone. There's a hole in my life where she used to be. How will I ever fill it? Pathetic. And unfair. To her and to me and to whomever else was in my life that was counting on me, because now I was a train wreck. And that's my fault. Now, if I had gone into that relationship a complete person, this wouldn't have happened. There's another phrase that's like those bracelets, like those necklaces, like the little half heart things, okay? There's a phrase like that I am certain everyone here has heard. It's been in countless movies and cards and Valentine's Day gifts. You complete me. You complete me. You're half. I was but half of a heart, and then you came into my life, and now my life is complete. You complete me. Heinous. Hogwash. Cruel. To saddle another human being with that weight that they cannot possibly hope to bear. They cannot. But I put that on her. I put that on that ex. I said, I'm incomplete without you. Don't ever screw it up ever. Or I don't know what will happen. It is not too strong of a word to say that. That is cruel. Take this to its logical conclusion, gang. As cringe as this is, you've all heard this as well. Stories of somebody saying, I don't know what would happen if you were to leave me. I don't think that I could go on. I think I might hurt myself. Oh, so now it's a hostage situation. So cute. Oh, so half of me. Oh, you complete me. It's not cute. It's cruel. My well-being, nay, my very life, depends on you always being agreeable enough that the relationship continues. I hesitate to use the word evil, but it's close. What do you need to bring to a relationship? The question was, how much in a successful relationship, how much of that is I picked the right person and I am the right person? The answer is yes. You don't bring half of a person to a relationship, and then they bring half of a person to a relationship, and then you go, oh, we are complete now. Wow. You each bring a complete person. That's the answer. I am a complete person, holistically. I'm okay. I've got some stuff figured out, and I've got a mission that I'm on, that I'm practiced in, that I care about. I've got something that I have decided through rigorous thinking and then putting it into practice and testing it where the rubber meets the road. I have got something that is worthy of me and my life and my pursuits and my heart and my time and my talents and my treasures are in it, baby, and I'm after it. And then you find somebody else for whom that is also true. Not somebody who says, "Oh, that sounds neat. Can I tag along?" Oh, Are you on this mission too? Are you a complete person too? Have you answered those questions through rigorous testing and all the same work that you've done over here? Have they done that also? Great. Now you can join hands and compound all efficacy for all of your efforts forevermore. Bring a complete person to the relationship. A complete person. And if ever you hear somebody say to you the phrase, "You complete me," be very careful what happens next. Be very careful. And it is hard to use strong enough language here. Do not be the person who uses a phrase like that. It may sound sweet, but it isn't. There's all sorts of ways to say, "I love doing life with you." And I say that to Hot Bride quite often. There's nothing that I get up to that is not made better by her being a part of it. I don't want to, travel and see things without her. I don't want to, run this business and do all of this apart from her. I don't want to go explore things and try new things without her. I don't want to experience new foods and, oh my gosh, this is a crazy without her, because it would be less. All of it is magnified by her being there. She's swell as hell. But she doesn't complete me. Some of you have used the phrase and have asked about the phrase soulmate. And I'll talk about this more in the weeks to come. But that is a very dangerous phrase because of the way that a lot of people mean it. It gets a lot of undue hate for the wrong reasons. But the way that a lot of people mean it is what I just described. Someone who completes me. Have you, ladies, those of you out there who are like, "I want to find a man who he completes me in all the right ways and he fills in this thing and I maximize my existence because of..." Have you met men? Have you ever run into a real life man before? And fellas, if you're like, "Oh man, she's just gonna bring it all together and complete my life, lock things in." Have you met a real life woman? For realsies one? A living, breathing one? Have you guys met humans before? Have you encountered humans before? What's our synonym for human round these parts, round the Mafia community? Disappointment. And that's on purpose that we use that kind of language around here. It's to highlight this point forever. I never want a single person here not catching that point. Your fellow man will disappoint you. Including the one in the mirror, incidentally. All humans disappoint. We start by disappointing ourselves, and then we disappoint others. And this is part of the human condition, and so ever we shall. It's inescapable. So, if you try to saddle another human with all of my future well-being depends on you, how well is that going for you? If you're single, your well-being does depend on you, right? Depends on all of your efforts. How well's that going? You got everything figured out? You got everything locked in? You've answered every question satisfactorily, and you're just actually crushing it in life, and you never make any mistakes. After all, you've just got one person to care for, right? It's just you, and so you crush it every day, right? You never let yourself down, right? Now add another person into that who requires your attention and your care when you're not at your best. Yeah, no, don't saddle another human with, "You complete me." Sounds cute. It's not cute. Okay, I want us to get away from this. I want us as a culture to get away from that idea. I would love for us to flinch instead when someone says it and go, ooh, what's wrong? Well, I want us to be a serious enough people again in humaning, in relating to our fellow man, being in relationship or prospects for relationships, to take this stuff seriously enough again that we can have a conversation with a prospect like, no, see, I consider it to be a good thing that I wouldn't saddle you with an expectation like that. My life looks like this. Here's what I believe in. Here's what I'm chasing with all my heart. And it requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hardship. And gang, if I lost Hot Bride, like I almost did last year, I talked about this with you guys then. I talked about this with the Mafia community then. It's not unromantic of me to say this. If I lose Hot Bride, I'll be devastated, yes. It'll be awful. She's my favorite person. She's my best friend. I will be upset, yes. And I will grieve appropriately. And I've got a lot of community around me that I hope will help me in such a time like that. I hope that they would show up and be there. I've seen them do it before. I have every reason to believe that they would. But my life would not end. My life is not over. If I lose her, I yet have a mission. I yet have purpose, apart from her, independent of her. Now, the important thing is, she has the same mission. She has the same mindset, the same heart set. We have both agreed on what our lives are to be aimed at and what we ought to pursue. Independent of one another, we both brought a whole person to the relationship. One that is capable of living and breathing and functioning and achieving independent of the other. If I found out that I had a couple months to live, you guys, if I found that out, if I got some sort of diagnosis or something like that, and it's like, all right, wrap up your affairs. Do you know what the greatest gift that Hot Bride could give me would be? Assurance that this isn't the end for her. Assurance that she will carry the torch. That she will continue to pursue her life's mission. That's the best gift that she could give me. Not falling to pieces saying, I can't go on without you. It sounds sweet, it ain't sweet. What would be terribly romantic, what would be terribly beautiful is, I will continue on. And I will continue to do the good that you and I loved to chase. I will continue what we started. You don't need to worry about me. I'm okay. That's the gift. That's the ultimate gift that one can give another. And if my bride were to ever give me that gift, it would be the greatest gift. Those are your choices. Go in with a whole person to the relationship. Okay. This leads into the next question also. Explain the difference between having standards having preferences, and having unrealistic expectations. Where's the line between these things? Okay? This is a much more fun, pragmatic sort of question. I just told you what your expectation should be for yourself going into a relationship, yes? Be a whole person who's answered those questions. Who am I? What do I believe? And what will I pursue? What's worth my life? Okay? That's you. And you start walking that out and wrestling with those ideas and you're after it. That's a whole person that you bring to the relationship. Congratulations, you've done that. Who ought you look for? Someone who's done the exact same thing. Okay. That is an expectation of another person, isn't it? I have expectations of me, and I have expectations of the other person involved in the relationship, the other prospect, yeah? Someone might say, Gus, that's an unrealistic expectation. We're all just sort of train wrecks, muddling our way through life and trying to figure it out. No. No. My life is not a train wreck. And I'm muddling my way through, and I'm just bumbling around, and some days are better than others. That does not describe my life at all. It also doesn't describe Hot Bride's life. It also doesn't describe the life of any of my mentors, of any of the business owners that I've gotten to do life alongside for the past decade. If it describes your life, that's a problem. If you would describe your life as, I don't know, I muddle my way through and each day is just one disaster after another and I don't know, some days, if your explanation of your life is just, it's a different shade of terrible day to day and who even knows, that's a you problem. That's not a humaning problem. That's not like a mankind, everybody has that shared experience. That's a skill issue. That's a skill issue. One you ought to care about. One you ought to take very seriously. That's not something that you gaff off. That's not something you hand wave away as, yeah, life is hard. Yeah, life is hard. But you can get good at life. Do bad things happen? Of course they do. To everybody, yes. To everybody. Bad things happen to all people. You say bad things happen to good people. Sure. Even if you're doing everything right, even if you've got everything locked in, even if you are just crushing it, okay? Bad things will happen to you. The rain falls on the just and the unjust alike, yes. Disaster will befall you as a matter of course. If you're like, no, but I checked all the boxes, I'm doing everything right, the rain will fall all the same. You will get sick. You will get injured. People you love will get sick. People you love will get injured. And people around you will hurt, and people around you will die. There will be accidents, and harm, and loss, and there will be devastation. As a matter of course, that will happen to you. But it is possible to live your life in such a way that, again, they will not be catastrophic. I just described a scenario by which I have been diagnosed with something and told you've got 3 months to live, get your affairs in order. It's not undoing to me if I have been living life correctly. I'm not, if I died today, you guys, I die on empty. I die with an empty tank, doing everything that I can at a sprint to serve you guys, my mission. To serve you guys well, to be a value-add proposition to your lives, to improve your lives for the willing, for the wise, who are able to listen, to glean something from this, and from all the stuff that I've taught over the years, from any of the humaning that I have encouraged and trained with you guys in over the years. If you can then take that on, great, awesome. But I just described also how if Hot Bride is doing this correctly, my death won't be undoing to her. She can mourn, she can be sad, but death happens. Loss happens. But if your life is just one series of disasters after another, there is a really good question to ask in this, which is, what part do I have to play in this? Now, some of you will say, Gus, I was born with this medical thing. I can think of several of you as examples, okay? I was born with this medical thing, had no say in that matter. It's been a source of misery for me in my entire life. Yep, I gotcha. And this has led to heartache and hardship for my family. It's led to all sorts of financial trouble and medical trouble and ongoing. I get all of that, yes. I get that life is hard. And everything is, like, rife for possibility of complication, of course. I mean, we just had S'mores say earlier, I was doing PT and getting on track with this thing, and now I've got an infection, and I get that. Those things perhaps are beyond your control. What things are within your control? Those are the humaning things. That's what I'm talking about, because we're talking about relationships. If your life is a long string of relational train wrecks, one after the other, that is a skill issue. I'm certain that someone hearing that took umbrage with what I said and immediately went the route of, I was dealt this deck of cards, guys, this hand of cards, and this was not my fault, and this isn't my fault, and I have all these physical maladies. That's all true. But apply this to your life relationally. Humaning is a skill, y'all. Even if you were dealt a bad hand, even if you were dealt a hand where you are interpersonally clumsy, underdeveloped social cues perhaps because of a mental something or rather, yeah? Say that's true of you. So you started here. Someone else started here. Both of you can improve. It's a skill. Humaning is a skill. All interpersonal relations, all interactions between you and your fellow man, how those go is up to you. It's precisely what we are training for. Training, you know, like athletes, like Olympians. Training, like the military, like special operations. Training for. That's what we do here in the Mafia, for those of you who are plugged in. For those of you who do the CNRs, the Cosa Nostra rendezvous, our weekly get-togethers. They're 90 minutes, once a week, where we get good at humaning. Where we train, because it is a skill issue. And so we have skilled people, we have unskilled people, and we've got all manner of folk in between. We've got a bell curve. And everybody who is partaking in this thing, who has opted in to this thing, to hard mode, has chosen hard mode. And they say, here's where I am, I'm going up. Maybe here's where I am, I'm going up. 201. That's what everybody who has gotten plugged into this community is doing. Training. Weekly. And then some people decry the cost too high. Some people say 90 minutes, an hour and a half, once a week? I could never. All right. Continue to have your life be a series of relational train wrecks, one after another. Will that save you time? Cleaning up train wreck after train wreck after train wreck. It's a skill issue.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Well, come on in, Psych. I hope I can call you Psych. I take follows quite seriously. I aim to earn it. Welcome. Aim to earn it. If you are not willing to put in the legwork to improve your humaning skills, you should not be surprised if your life is a series of humaning train wrecks. We have people from all backgrounds, all walks of life here in the Mafia community. All ages, all kinds. Including many who have had horrible pasts. through no fault of their own. People who are legitimate victims of the hand they were dealt, the family they were dealt.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Welcome on in, Solars. Again, grateful for the follow. Aim to earn it. Aim to earn it.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
You too, Clucky. I don't know what the occasion is to make the acquaintance of you three. I don't know who's talking, who's saying what about me somewhere. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the stars had to align to make this meeting happen. But again, I'm grateful to have you in. Plus, each time someone follows, I get to drink a little bit more. So, thank you, Clucky. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Solar. Appreciate you, Psych. We have people who've had awful things handed to them in life when they were kids, okay? Since joining this community and opting into difficulty, to hard mode, to doing the heavy lifting, to training, they've overcome that. They've forgiven unbelievable, unspeakable hurts. They've mended relationships that absolutely should not have in a vacuum. Like, no way that this was ever going to get fixed. No way you could clean up this mess. There's no way. They've done it because it's a skill issue. And when they opt into the difficulty and they train, and that's uncomfortable, there's discomfort left and right through all of this process, yes. When they've done that, they're amazed to look at their life now, and so am I. I'm not surprised, but I do still marvel. No matter how many times I see it, I yet marvel. Because it takes courage to do that. An enormous amount. More than most these days have, I'm afraid. And they said, I'll do it. And now their life is no longer an endless string of relational train wrecks. Do bad things still happen to them? Yes, of course. They always will. Do they still have health problems? Yes, of course, they always will. Are they still aging? Are their bodies still falling apart? More and more each day, each week, each year? Yes, and they will continue to. Will they still have interpersonal strife? Because you can't control everybody else? Yes. But they've mitigated it mightily because of what you can do on your end. I was just talking to a dear friend about this. I said, look, it takes two to tango. You've got 100% of stuff to work on your end, and they have 100% of stuff to work on their end. And even if they have nothing together, even if they're just a wreck, I can be like locked in over here, and maybe I can bring like my best foot forward. And I show up like 95%, yeah? I bring it, and I bring 95%. And they just bring nothing. I've still mitigated a bunch of misery. Even if they're awful, even if they're insufferable, even if they mean you harm, even if they have ill will toward you, even if they uphold nothing and they drop the ball completely, it doesn't matter. I can mitigate so much misery just with my 100% that I have control over. That's what we train. Our 100%. Because it's all you can train. You've got control over one person, and it's you. And that's on a good day. Same as me. Control over one person, and it's me, and that's on a good day. Same. What's an unrealistic expectation? Some of you might think, Gus, finding somebody who's got sort of their shit together, that's an unrealistic expectation, Gus. Everybody's a mess. Nope. In fact, the most often I have heard this used, the most often I have had this deployed against my arguments in this. It's for someone to say, well, nobody's got it together. That's projection. That's you making an excuse for you. That's you saying, well, I'm not going to expect them to have their stuff together. I mean, after all, I don't. Exactly. I just found the problem. So, the question. What are standards? What are preferences? And what are unrealistic expectations? Unrealistic expectations? Sure. That the person who is a physical 10 today will be a physical 10 years from now. 20 years from now, 30 years, 50 years from now. That is an unrealistic expectation. That all of the cool kid fun activities that you guys get up to when you're 19, you're going to keep doing it when you're 90. Okay? And then hanging the relationship's success on those things. Physical impossibilities, right? Okay. Unrealistic expectations. Oh, there's a lot to say that I can't because they're in the dating portion. And I'm not going to step all over the lectures I've already prepared for the weeks and months to come for the rest of the masterclass, okay? So to limit this to where we're at, in the bridge between singleness and dating here, unrealistic expectations? Expectations that you don't have for yourself. Many of you know I've talked about Pell before. Friend of mine, he's staying with us right now. He's a couple walls away, right over there, okay? Dude is absolutely yoked. Dude is single-digit body fat, okay? And his arms are like as big around as my calves, okay? Dude is jacked. He walks that walk. That requires an enormous amount of discipline on his part. Discipline with his exercise routine, with his diet, with all of it. It's a lifestyle choice. You know what I'm saying? To look like that, to be able to perform at that level athletically, is an enormous feat that doesn't just happen on accident, and it doesn't happen overnight. That is the culmination of him being disciplined and locked in mentally over years. I said, you are what you continuously do, yeah? He is an athlete. He is a bodybuilder. Not because he occasionally lifts heavy things. Not because he occasionally breaks a sweat. But because he does it every damn day. 7 days a week, doubles. Doubles. 7 days a week. He just told me that he goes, oh yeah, I got my workout down to an hour. An hour. Once in the morning, once in the evening. 7 days a week. Strict diet and all the rest. Single digit body fat. 12 pack. You know? Yeah, that guy. Do you think it's fair in him dating, and he's single? Do you think it's fair of him to expect the girl he wants to date to be fit? Genuine question. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair if he were to date somebody, or put his face or his image out there, whatever it is, and say, here's what my life looks like, and here's the consequence of what my life looks like, okay? You know, flex a little bit, okay? I would like somebody who also takes this seriously. Do you think that's fair? I think it is. I think that's quite fair. You are what you continuously do. He continuously does this his whole life. He does this. He has decided that this is worth his time. This is worth his effort. This pursuit is worth his blood, sweat, tears. This is worth of those things, and he thus pursues them. Who's he supposed to link arms with? Somebody who concurs. Somebody who agrees. Who's landed in the same spot as him. Who's decided the same. Now, I'm not saying physical fitness is something that's like worthy of your entire life. Perhaps if it was like, well, I want other people to maximize their health outcomes, and so I want to teach from my own experience and from all my research, and I want to bequeath that to others who are willing to sit and listen and learn so that I can train them up to have better health outcomes than what they've got right now, and thus I will serve others. I think that's better than just one person saying, I want to be jacked. Now, I'm not speaking for him one way or the other, what his mission is. I'm not speaking to his mission statement, okay? But say he says that. There's a whole lot of lifestyle choice that goes along with that, isn't there? I think it's perfectly reasonable for him to say, of a person with whom he would like to link arms, they also need to be jacked. Not necessarily single-digit body fat bodybuilder sorts, not necessarily. But do you think it's an unrealistic expectation of him to be like, no, they need to care physically. That's my mission. They need to care about the same mission. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Others would say, that's not fair. You'll never find somebody who looks like that. Is that projection? Because I know lots of people who look like that. I know lots of people who take their physical fitness very seriously. I'm a Marine. I know professional fighters in all kinds of fighting styles. I know people who just roll for funsies. I know jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Hapkido. I know Taekwondo instructors and karate and you name it. I know people who live this stuff. Maybe they don't necessarily do bodybuilding and stuff, but they fight, and their physical form and performance and all of that matters a great deal to them. Do you think it's reasonable that they would expect their partner to care about those things too? I do. Standards. What are standards, preferences, unrealistic expectations? I would say standard expectation that one ought to have for a prospective partner is somebody who is a complete person. So again, immediately disqualified is anybody who comes to you and says, you complete me. Nope. Come back together. Come back when you've got your life together. Come back when you have answered the questions, who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue, and then you have demonstrated your willingness to do so. Not just words, action. That's it. What's a good standard? Have they done singleness right? That's a great standard, in fact. Because that's not fair. Is that projection? Do you not have your stuff together? Do you not have your life figured out? Do you not know what's worthy of your life and your pursuit and your effort and your years? That's a trick question. Many people listening don't. And I'm not condemning you. I'm not here trying to dunk on anybody. You don't have your life together. I just spent the last 4 weeks, the last 4 Fridays, talking about the importance of answering those very critical questions. And then practical examples of how to go about doing that. Things you ought to care about while you are yet single. And then I talked about all of the problems that arise if you don't do it while you're single. The last month, I talked about this. Why do you think that is? You've got decades in some cases to figure out singleness, to take it seriously, and then to start living your life ahead of adding another person to it. Do you have to have absolutely every single question answered? No. Do Do you have to understand every single thing that there is to understand? It's not, okay, it's not possible. Those are unrealistic expectations. It's not possible. But you do need to have those basic questions about yourself answered. And they're deep, important questions. What do you mean is worth my life? What do you mean is worth dying for? Yeah, it's that serious. All before I have a partner? Yes. Can you date someone before you? Sure you can. Can you marry someone before you answer all those questions? Yes, many of you are proof of that. How's that going? Once again, I'm not interested in people having substandard relationships. I'm not interested in pointing you guys to something that works, something that's passable, something that's fine. I want you guys to thrive. I want you guys to have incredible relationship outcomes because I want you guys to have incredible life outcomes. I don't want you in deadlock with somebody, pulling in opposite directions and being totally taken out of the game of life as a consequence. I don't want you being sidelined because you didn't take this seriously enough while you yet could. Because once you're in a relationship, changing directions it's damn near impossible. And it is impossible without pain. Even if what you turn to is good. I said this last week. Even if you find something that's just freaking beautiful and you aim your life at it and you get after it, baby, if they don't, there's friction there, there's pain there now. Even if what you decided to chase is awesome, if they're not chasing it too, your life sucks now. And it will continue to. You know what is so much worse than you saying, but I don't like being single? You know what is so much worse than that? Being married to somebody that you can't stand as your years slip away. And you haven't done anything significant at all because your relationship is such a mess. You know what's so much worse than you saying, it would be so nice to just lay down in bed next to somebody and I'm lonely? You know what is so much worse than that? Laying down in bed next to somebody you can't stand. Ask anybody who's living that life. Obviously, I encourage you to. Might that hurt them to ask? You know what? They would probably happily warn you off it. They would probably happily grab you by the scruff and say, don't be me! But then again, misery does love company, so maybe they won't. Maybe they'll say, nah, don't listen to that Gus guy, it's fine. I'm not interested in fine. Not for you. You matter too much. I care about you too deeply. I won't settle for fine. You want to get married? You can get married today. If you're single right now, not even dating somebody, you can get married tonight if you set your standards low enough. Is marriage the goal? Is putting a ring on it the goal? No. The goal is to be yoked up with somebody who's pulling the same direction and the same pace as you, in order that your efficacy might be compounded in chasing your life's pursuits. That's the goal. If your goal is, I don't want to be lonely anymore, it's an impoverished goal and it's unworthy of this difficult but important thing, this humaning thing, this relationship thing. You say, I don't want to be lonely anymore. That is unworthy to bring to a relationship. So, standards. That they be a complete person. Just that. Just that they have done a lot of responsible thinking about life, what it's for, and how they fit in, and what they think about the big questions, and they've got worldview sort of stuff locked in, and they're actually pursuing these things. Yeah, those should be your standards. Unrealistic expectations? That they do stuff that you don't. That they dedicate themselves to things that you're unwilling to. That they will do a bunch of heavy lifting that you yourself have never done, never tried. And you're like, hand wave away. If you hold yourself to a standard, they should have a standard too. I don't think it's unrealistic. I don't think it's unreasonable to say they also need to care. Last one of those is preferences. Preferences is superficial stuff, basically. I'll talk more about this again in the weeks to come with the dating portion of the Relationships Masterclass here. I can't step all over it. There are a couple things that are integral to the person of who you ought to date. I'm walking a fine line here without spoilers. Preferences, hair color, eye color, music, tastes, do they have a good tan? Those. Because consistently, this is kind of a funny thing. Consistently, I'll bring this up again when we get into dating. I'll step on it a little bit here. Consistently, in all of the online dating stuff that's been stood up over the last bunch of years now, last decades, all the online dating services, from their infancy with like eHarmony and Match.com and stuff like that, from all of those all the way up to now, all the early ones found something peculiar. They asked people to put in tons of questions about themselves, answer a ton of questions about themselves. Here's what I'm like, here's what I'm into, and all these preference questions, okay, about what they liked about their partner, or what they liked, what they wanted in a prospective partner, okay? They'd go to these match services and be like, okay, here's me, and here's what I want them to be, and they tried very hard to match those up. They had algorithms and stuff that would look at all these and they'd see which key fit the keyhole sort of deal, right? Like, oh, okay, these ones match. And what they found in the data is that, yeah, they would say, okay, we're shipping you two because the algorithm says you'll work. After all, it's what you said you wanted. And the other person's like, oh, yep, they matched. Also, we matched up. Awesome. They went on a date and it didn't work out. They didn't marry. They didn't stay together. Those relationships didn't work. And they were like, what? And there were like all these after action things. You could be like, what you liked about them, what you didn't like about it, what I didn't like about the relationship, try this better next time for the matchmaking, all the online stuff, right? What they found is that there is zero overlap. And I mean this in a statistical sense. 0% overlap between what the person said were their preferences and the descriptors of who they ended up marrying. 0. No statistical significance whatsoever. Here's my list of my ideal mate. 0 of them. Which tells us what? What we say we want got no bearing on reality. I said back in the day, I'm going to marry a brunette. I'm into brunettes. I like brunettes. No offense to all you blondes out there. I just, never was into blondes, okay? Just leave it at that. I was never into blondes. Brunettes was my thing, okay? Or black hair. And I dated, Asian gals with like black hair and black gals with black hair, right? And Mexican gals with black hair. So either black hair or brown hair. That was always my like, okay, dark hair. That was like one of the through lines in all of the girls I ever dated. That was it. They're all dark of hair, okay? Any girl that I entertained, dating, courting, pursuing, any one of them with dark hair, all right? And then I met Hot Bride, and all of a sudden I'm married to a redhead. I didn't even know redheads existed, basically. I knew that they, like, I had gone to school with them and stuff like that, but I had never weighed in. And it's so funny because I had so many people in my life like, oh, those redheads, am I right? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm married to her now, and they're like, oh, you're a freak for the redheads. And I'm like, no, this wasn't a thing for me. Apparently people have like a thing for redheads in the way that I sort of had a thing for brunettes, for dark hair. I didn't have that for redheads at all. It wasn't even on my radar. Like, it wouldn't even... I knew, okay, no to blondes, yes to brunettes. It's like my binary choice. Redheads were over here in like a third category that I didn't know existed. It was so far from my brain space that I didn't even know I needed to weigh in and be like, oh, and no redheads either. And all of a sudden I'm married to one, and people are like, oh, yeah, you got one of the redheads. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And she doesn't fit the categories at all. What are my preferences? Hot Bride. Whatever she's got going on, the one that I married, those are my preferences. How do they match up with all of my preference lists that past Gus would have put together? 0% statistical significance. No overlap. So, standards. Complete person who's taken their singleness very seriously. Because that also means they will be taking you very seriously. If they take themselves seriously enough to answer all these questions, it's a good chance they will take you seriously enough to be a good partner in life. Okay, that's great. Awesome. Standards. Unrealistic expectations, physical impossibilities, and something you're not willing to yourself put in effort for. Okay? And preferences? Statistically? They're harmless. You'll probably be surprised by what it is you end up with. If you're like, my preferences are rigid, we'll see. You might be a statistical outlier. I'm going to get everything on my checklist. You may be looking for a while. Okay, and my final question that I'm going to tackle tonight to do with singleness. And this one's a little bit tougher. This question was, what happens when you're single again? I was conflicted as to whether or not to tackle this here or during the marriage portion of the masterclass. Because during the marriage portion, I will be speaking to the statistical reality of divorce. I will be speaking to what is a very real and present pain for a lot of people. A very real and present hurt. Either something that you guys yourselves are dealing with or have in your past, or something that your parents went through and therefore it affected you. All of us are affected by divorce to some degree or another, by broken relationships. Then there's widows and widowers, right? You lost someone. I'm a Marine. I'm acquainted with this category of person. The specific prescription for what one person ought to do, being single again, I could speak to on a case-by-case basis. Broadly, it changes quite a lot depending on circumstances. Do you have kids? Were you both childless still? That changes some things. Are you in good health? How old are you at this point? Do you have limitations, accessibility questions and limitations, physical access to stuff? There's a lot of questions about what becomes of one's singleness the second time. I've just spent a month beating a dead horse about how seriously to take singleness up front. Why? So that you don't have to deal with it a second time because of things like infidelity, abandonment, changing directions, and something's gotta give. Now, being widowed is very different, of course. Being widowed, that is a different category, okay? As I said, the rain falls on us all. There will be loss in your life. There will be hurt in your life. And that will include losing a spouse, okay? One of you is going to go first. That's a different category of things. But in the frame of best practices, the reason that I spent a month hammering away at this critically important season of singleness is so that you don't have to face, or at least you can severely, dramatically decrease your odds of facing singleness again while both of you are yet living. That is, in many ways, a skill issue. And that is, in many, many ways, it's not foolproof. We're humans. You're only half the equation. Your partner's the other half, okay? You can't control them. You can't control them. You've got control over you. And you can mitigate a lot by really crushing it on your end. You can mitigate a ton, but not all. You can't control the other person. You can't stop. And if that person gets it in their brain for they get a wild hair or a TBI or something, and they go off and they abandon you, there are circumstances that are beyond your control. There are. But there are far more that are within your control. And there are a ton of best practices that you can exercise on the front end in singleness to prevent, or at least 90-something% mitigate the probability of hurt on the back end for a broken relationship. You can prevent or largely mitigate all of that by taking singleness very seriously. By getting singleness right. Because there is a right and a wrong way to do it. And the wrong way is saying, I'll wing it. If you have a lasting relationship, it will be sheer luck. I'll wing it. I'll go with the flow. I'll just... If your relationship lasts, it will be sheer luck. And it lasting is not the same as it thriving. It lasting and not having a divorce in there is not the same as you two pulling side by side and absolutely crushing it in getting after your life's purpose. You two existing near each other, and God, I know a ton of these people in my life too. Couples who are roommates. Married for 15 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years. Roommates. Each one dissatisfied. Not devastated, not betrayed, so they're not divorcing, but God, they're just miserable. And neither one can be effective in what they want to do in life. Because they've got the ball and chain dragging behind them. That is not the same. Keeping the ring on is not the same as you two sprinting side by side and getting after it and making a serious change in this world. It's not the same. Again, ask anybody who's in a stale relationship like that. I have. I know them. And I have good enough relationship and rapport with them that I can ask them hard questions like that. That I can ask them, how much does it hurt to be dragging dead weight with you everywhere you go? To be at odds with somebody who's supposed to be your peer, your partner, your best friend. What's it like? I have answers to all of those questions. They have graciously answered them through tears. I don't want that for you. But Gus, I'm lonely. I know. I know you are. And I know what that's like. I went through seasons of singleness myself. Long into my adult years, I was single, and I thought I was going to end up being single. I thought I was going to end up staying single. I was just going to live my life single. I know. What will make that singleness far easier to bear is getting your life locked in. Figuring out who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue. So, what do you do when you're single again? The logistics aren't the same anymore. When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and you're unattached, right? You don't got anybody who's counting on you. You're not a breadwinner. You don't have kids, maybe, right? And you've got like, you're pretty free, pretty mobile, pretty independent. It's very different than later if you've, say, got kids. What if you got grandkids? Or your housing situation has to drastically change and your finances are all sorts of distorted now because of this. And maybe there's child support in there and all of the... That stuff adds a lot of logistics nightmare. But I'll say, by way of foundational ideas here, it's why I bring it up again here and not in the marriage portion of the masterclass. The question is, what do I do with my singleness now? And my answer is precisely the same as it has been for the last month. You yet need to answer who you are, what you believe, and what you'll pursue. I can't tell you what to pursue. I've got ideas. I've got ideas also of what's not worthy of you, not worthy of your life, not worthy of your pursuit, not worthy of your blood, sweat, and tears, because I've run up against a wall of a bunch of stupid things that I thought were worthy. I'm sure. And you know what? My encouragement is to be around community who can warn you off of things also and say, don't beat your head against that wall. Trust me, I wasted 2 years of my life doing that stupid thing. Don't. It sounds nice on paper. In reality, no, it's stupid. Have community around you. Develop community around you. Commit to community. Grow in your humaning skills with that community, such that you can ask them these hard questions, and they can speak to you about your life and your blind spots and what you need to work on. And if you were to ask them seriously, if you were to ask these people with whom you have depth, with whom you've earned depth, and you were to ask them, okay, gang, you are what you continuously do. Gus said that, right? You are what you continuously do. Gang, what do I continuously do? What am I like? We each have blind spots. Who do you have in your life that is competent? Capability question, okay? And willing to speak to those blind spots in good faith out of love for you. And have you asked them? All right. I know I'm not... I've got a lot of stuff to figure out still. I'm not crushing it perfectly. All right, gang. Let me hear it. I'm actually going to take notes. I want to write this down. I actually want to hear. Let my guard down. Let my defenses down a little bit. If I am what I continuously do, what am I? And if you have that kind of rapport, and if you have those relationships, maybe they'll say something like, you're a victim in your brain all the time. Nothing's ever your fault. Whenever something goes wrong, you immediately start blaming others. You never take accountability, and some of it, frankly, is your doing. Or at least you could do something about it. So, you are what you continuously do. You are a continuous victim. Maybe someone else says, you're an unserious person. Whenever something heavy comes up, you crack a joke and slip past it, so you never have to actually sit in discomfort. We love your jokes, and they're great, and they're witty, but you never sit in the seriousness. It seems like whenever there's something hard going on, you kind of duck. You find an excuse to leave. You are what you continuously do. You're shallow. You're an unserious person. And if you hear stuff like this, now you know what needs work. And then you could ask the question, maybe I dodge seriousness because I'm afraid of what the implications are of chasing serious things. Maybe I'm afraid of getting after heavy topics because I know I'm going to come out on the wrong side of them. Maybe I'm always cracking jokes and cracking wise because I don't have any answers to serious things and I don't want to be found out to be a fool. Who are you? If I lost Top Bride today, I would be devastated. To circle back around and put a nice pretty bow on this as I end here. If I lost Top Bride today, I would most assuredly be upset. It would be awful. And again, I almost lost her last year. That's like 8 months ago now. I'd be upset. But one gift that I could give her if she were in her deathbed is I'll be okay. Because my well-being doesn't hinge on you. I'm okay. Just like you knew when you met me. I've got dreams, I've got goals, I've got things I'm gonna chase, and I'm good. I'll get them. I'm gonna get after them. I'll never forget you. I'll never take for granted the time that I got to spend with you. And pulling with you has been one of the singular joys of my life. But I will keep pulling. I will keep pushing. I will keep the lights on and keep the mission moving forward. If you want to be cheesy, you could say, I'll even do it in honor of you. I'll do it because I already decided that it's good. And so did she. If you're single again, you need to still find out what that thing is. Because, in my experience, people end up single again many times. I would say probably most often because they didn't have this answer to begin with. We drifted apart. How? How's that possible? You were on mission together, getting after it, chasing the same shared vision, right? Well, I wanted and he wanted. I mean, she took this very seriously, and I never really saw that. A lot of the single again can be mitigated by this upfront. Which means it's something you still need to take care of. And if, perhaps, you were in the relationship, and then you were that person I described earlier, who did find something worthy, while you were married, while you were linked arms with this person, you did find something good and worthy, and you were like, I have to reorient my life toward this thing. This mission matters. This really means something. And your partner goes, And what you've found is good, and you're getting after it, and they're just pulling the other way, going, I don't wanna, I'm stupid. And maybe that's the reason for the split. Again, have an honest self-assessment, ideally with people who know you, with whom you've earned depth, and ask, like, Should I have done this differently? How could I? And if they understand your mission and your goal, there's a possibility they'll be like, no, you're doing something good. You're doing something meaningful. You're after it now. You can't control this other person, and them leaving has nothing to do with the quality of the mission. Maybe you don't need to change your mission. Maybe get after it. Utilize your singleness now and get after that thing. And maybe you're like, no, I'm heartbroken. This sucked. This whole experience was terrible, and I want to do this solo for forevermore. That may be you. That's okay. And some of you, depending on circumstances, you may end up getting into another relationship. You may. But let me warn you, and I will speak to this. I actually have the statistics for this. I will speak to this in the marriage portion. Let me caution you, if you are single again, do not repeat the mistakes that you made the first time. Do not jump into a new relationship as unequipped as you were the first time, as ill-prepared as you were last time. Do not jump into another relationship, certainly not another marriage, until you have answered the question, who am I? What do I believe? And what will I pursue? Do not. Because you will end up in this exact spot again. Because you haven't figured out you yet. The structural integrity of the relationship depends half on you. And if you haven't gotten your shit figured out, the next relationship is going to collapse too. Those were the singleness type questions I wanted to tackle. Those were the singleness ones I wanted to come back around. I'll say I can't stress enough. Don't do any of this alone. Do it in community. Do it in community of people who are taking it seriously enough to get after it themselves, okay? Do this with people. Am I saying that can only be done here in the Mafia community? No. Is it something that we are being intentional about and getting after here in the Mafia community? It sure is. We do it each week. The Cosa Nostra Rendezvous. Or the CNRs, again, if you can't be bothered with either the syllables or the Italian. The CNRs. The next round of those kicks off in the fall. First week of September is going to be the first week of years of terms of people can stay on for. If you want good outcomes, take seriously your inputs. Want good output, good input. We're not perfect. We're just people trying our best. Using data-driven type stuff, using anecdotal-driven stuff. We're doing our best. Join us. Follow on Rumble. Follow on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. Yes, a lot of silly content goes up on all those platforms. That's true. And that's because real relationships, I believe, involve both the silly and the serious. I think those are things that we each ought to get up to. Silly and serious and all the stuff in between. Life is not just one side or the other. We need both. So tomorrow is some of the silliness. Boy, howdy is tomorrow some silliness. Tomorrow morning is a just chatting stream. And so I will be reading every single chat and keeping up with all of you guys and get to touch bases with you guys and ask how stuff was going and all that for 90 minutes. It's a blitz, baby, of, like, just chatting for 90 minutes in the morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, every Saturday morning. And then tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Pacific time, we get back to the silliest, most feral, unhinged game I have ever played. If you haven't seen this game, if you weren't there last Saturday, there's no like, oh, I'm too late now. There's no story to jump into. If you any point that you jump in, you'll be just as puzzled and gobsmacked as the rest of us. There is no like, oh yes, I'm acclimatized to this now, and I'm in tune with what's happening. It is the most unhinged game I have ever seen. Be here tomorrow night. My face was slack last week. I have never been much for being at a loss for words. I am a man of many. This game leaves me often speechless, I must say. So I hope that you guys will join for some of the silliness. And in the weeks ahead, we're going to continue the Masterclass on Fridays, getting into dating. I know this is the part that so many of you have been waiting for, and you've been sick of hearing me talk about singleness, and you just want to get to the brass tacks of dating. All right. Well, your time has come. But be warned, I'm going to keep pointing back to singleness. Remember what that thing I said? That matters now. Hey, remember that other thing? That matters now. Hey, remember that? Don't be surprised. I'll be surprised. Thank you guys for being here, for being a part of this thing. And again, it speaks volumes about the caliber of person who would choose difficulty, who would choose hard mode here. Of all the places that you could be on a Friday night doing any old thing, here you are doing difficult things. I think it's reasonable for any of you out there looking for relationships to expect your prospect to take relationship stuff as seriously as you are. Seriously enough that you would sacrifice a Friday evening, multiple Friday evenings, perhaps many. I think it's reasonable that your prospect do the same. Call me crazy. And it's to you, that remarkable caliber of human, whom I am privileged to do life alongside, that I raise my final glass of the evening. Thank you. Don't forget, if you have questions, if you have any more questions, and I'm sure there are many, ask your question. There's a totally anonymous way to do it right there. Goes to a Notion board. You can fill it out as many times as you want. Submit as many questions as you want for all of the seasons, okay? Still, we can do singleness ones, maybe after the fact. I'll go back and address anything specifically that didn't get covered in the entire series, perhaps as possible. Singleness, dating, engaged, married, okay? Across the spectrum of relationship adjacent, submit your questions. They're totally anonymous. I can't see who sent them. It's not tied to accounts. You don't have to log in. It's totally anonymous. And I am not scared of your spicy questions. I have spent a very long time studying this stuff. I have read a lot of books on all of this to prepare all of this for you guys. And I've done a lot of intentional living with this, and interviews, and a whole lot of statistics and research and all the rest. I'm not afraid of the questions, no matter what they are. So submit them whenever you can, whenever you want to. At any point between now and the end of the series, submit them. I will take this board down and I will delete the questionnaire once we are through the masterclass. Until then, at any point, you can bookmark that if you want to. Or you can pop into my chat, online or offline. That should pop up. No, it will pop up. I tested this. Online, offline. Just show up to my stream, type in !Notion for the Notion board, okay? And it'll pop up and give you the link, and you can submit it as often as you like, okay? Whenever something pops into your mind, middle of the night, you go, ooh, that's a good question. Okay? And I will do my best to address them. First in the lectures and then in the Q&As afterwards. So thank you. Thank you again to everybody who makes all of this possible, all of you folks who've supported through Rumble, through Coffee, through Patreon, all of you guys who've sacrificed to make this happen. I don't get to do this in this way for this many people without you. Any good that comes from this project can be traced right back to the feet of you, who have valued similarly the things that I have valued, and then sacrificed to make it possible so that I can focus on this. It's really something. Still working 80 hours a week doing this right now. I'd like to pare it down still. I still would like to get down to 73 hours a week. That is my goal. Someday. Someday soon. Now that we're halfway through the year. Soon, TM. I very much hope to see you guys tomorrow. For the silly. And maybe some serious. We'll see. We'll see. What does it look like to be a part of this life? What does it look like to do this hard mode thing? What does it look like to work on the skill issue, to train, as I said, alongside the remarkable men and women of the Mafia who've agreed to try the same? Come and see. Come and see. And as ever, I will strive to see that it's a decision that you don't regret. In the meantime, I wish for you each marvelous evenings, mornings, wherever ye be, and I will see you on the other side.